Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Captain Clive's MTG. We've only got 40 spoiler cards left for Dominaria. Some commander cards came out. Lots of sweet stuff on the agenda for today. Before we get started, don't forget we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so sub up for me. One click for you doesn't mean a lot, but it means a lot for me and the channel, and I appreciate it. So let's dive in to Dominaria. Starting with Commander, we have the activated Sleeper, a black and 2 forexians shapeshifter. It's a 0/0 with flash. Basically, when it enters the battlefield, you get to copy any creature card in any graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn, except it's also Phyrexian. This is going to be an amazing commander card. While your friends duel it out and they kill each other's big nappies, for 3 mana, you too can have a big nappy. So yeah, this is going to see probably a lot of plays. This might be a good $5 card. Next, we have Emperor Mihail II, 2 blue and 1 for a 3/3. Look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast Merfolk spells from top of your library. Whenever you cast a Merfolk spell, pay 1. If you do, get a 1/1 blue Merfolk token. This could be a commander of an all-blue Merfolk deck. I'm just saying. Sexy. I like it. Moving on. Next, we have Robarian Mercenaries. Okay. Anyway, so it's a white and 3 for a 3/4 Vigi. It has all the activated abilities of all legendary creatures you control. That's disgusting. Can't be a commander, but it can be one heck of a card to lay. If it doesn't have, summoning sickness, you start laying multicolored legendaries. Ooh, it gets ugly quick. So, moving on. Next, we have Historian's Boon, white and 3 enchantment. Whenever the boon or another enchantment enters the battlefield, you get to create a 1/1 soldier token. Whenever the final chapter of its saga goes off or triggers, you get a 4/4 flying white angel with vigilance. Did they just say make a commander saga deck? Is that what I just heard? I think I just heard that. Did somebody hear that? Alright, moving on. Next we have the Mana Rig. 3 colorless legendary artifact. Whenever you cast a multicolor spell, you get a Power Stone, which is an artifact that taps for colorless. For XX and X, look at the top X cards of your library. Put up to 2 of them into your hand, the rest on the bottom in a random order. This thing basically says 3 mana, draw a card. Because you can look at the top 1 cards, put 2 of them in your hand, which is one of them. This is disgusting. And if you put 6, draw 2, you draw 2 cards. Yeah, this thing is amazing. It's going to be expensive. And this is also the picture from Defense Grid. It's the same place. Just, yeah, love it. Oh, the nostalgia. All right, next we have Green Sleeves Marlowe Sorcerer. 2 green and 3 for, okay, star. It has protections from planeswalkers and wizards. Interesting choice. Its power and toughness equal number of lands you control. That's fine. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, you get a 3/3 green badger token. Okay, it's cool that you get 3/3 creatures from a land. I don't know why they're badgers. Thinking more beavers. Anyway, moving on. This is a PG channel. We are back to a new land cycle. That's right, there's a common land cycle here for regular Dominaria, and it's a multicolor land cycle for all the cards, and it's sweet and sexy. Not only are they regular land, but they are also island and swamps. They're not basics, though, but they are fetchable, and that may make them good enough to be played in Commander and maybe some other decks. Also in Limited, all these cards are mana fixing, so you'll be playing them. And there's not just one for 5 colors, there's one for all 10, so it's even better. So now we're into regular cards. In regular Dominaria, 2 red and 2 for the Defile of Instinct. It is a first strike and a 4/4 red creature, which that's already pretty sweet. This is part of the pay Phyrexian mana stuff for your permanents. So what that basically means is you pay 2 life, you don't have to you can reduce the cost of a permanent you control by 1 red. And whenever you cast a red permanent, the Defiler deals 1 damage to any target. Notice this isn't legendary. You can have more than 1 on the field at once. Not to mention, just a 4/4 with first strike for 4 is pretty good. Not gonna lie. I think this whole, like Phyrexian creature, kind of like the style of Titans back in the normal sets, are going to be amazing. These and the Lords are going to be what everything's going to be talking about, I think. All right, next we have the Yabbamaya Sojourner. So for green and 7, you get a 4/6. It has domain though, so every basic land type you have, it costs 1 less to cast. So at worst, it's going to cost honestly 7 for a 4/6, which isn't great. 2 mana means it's going to cost 6 for a 4/6. A little better, but not great. But it is a good common for draft, and that's probably or limited. It's probably the only place you're going to see it. Next, we have Smash to Dust or Red in the Colorless. Destroy target artifact, destroy target creature with Defender, or 1 damage to each creature your opponent controls. Decent choices for probably a limited card at best, but you never know. If you're playing Commander and you're playing a butt fight deck, this might be a good card. Next, we have the Combat Research. That is an enchantment for 1 blue. It says when this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Can you say Curiosity? And if this creature is legendary, it gets +1/+1, it has Ward 1. Can you say Curiosity on steroids? If you have legendary creatures, this may make or be the heralding to a new mono blue aggro deck because, we all wanted that. Next, we have the Silverback Elder. That's right. Not the Ancient, the Elder. This bad boy, or ape, as they would say. 3 green and 2 for a 5/7. So 5 mana for a 5/7 is pretty sweet already. But whenever you cast a creature spell, you get to choose one. You get to disenchant something. Amazing. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put a land from among them on the battlefield tap. Basically, top 5 rampant growth. Rest on the random order in the bottom. Or gain 4 life. This thing is good enough for the current mono green deck. I know it's 5 mana. I don't care. This thing, laying creatures and disenchanting things and gaining 4 life and just milling land out of your deck is just disgusting, and I'm sure there's going to be some weird shenanigans to do with it. It's going to be a great card. We have the Academy Loremaster. 2 blue for a 2/3, speaking of the aggro deck. At the beginning of each player's draw step, you may draw an additional card. If you do, spells you cast cost 2 more to cast this turn. If you're playing a blue deck and all your stuff is instants, you don't care how much your stuff costs on your turn. You care how much your stuff costs on your opponent's turn. So I can definitely see a blue aggro deck running this bad boy, or girl as it be, and just countering your opponent's stuff while you draw 2 cards during your turn. And if they want to draw 2 cards, sure, go for it. You're still only going to cast 1, and I'm going to still get ahead in mana, and I'm still going to have more cards. This is going to be probably a powerhouse, not even going to lie. Next, we have Rada, the Cap Coalition Warlord. Red, green, and 2 for a 3/3. Has domain. Whenever it becomes tapped, not attacks, +X to another creature till end of turn, where X is the number of basic lands you control. That's pretty sweet. If you have that thing that makes legendary creatures tap for mana, this is just a giant growth that sits on the table, produces mana at the same time. It's kind of weird. You tap it, you get your green to cast giant growth, but you already get the giant growth, so then you cast giant growth. Yeah, this is going to get complicated. But it looks like a pretty good card, although I think it's probably only going to see limited play, because for 4 mana, you can get Praetors. I'm sorry, forexians. The Aether Channeler, blue and 2, it's a 2/1 human wizard. This thing's amazing. Creates a 1/1 flyer, returns a target non-land permanent to its owner's hands, or draws a card. This is just like the black card from Strixhaven, but obviously better. Yeah, so there's that. Next, we have Relic of Legends. Yeah, apparently that was a little foreshadowing on Rada. Anyway, 3 colorless for an artifact. You tap for any mana color you want. Tap an untapped legendary creature you control. Add 1 mana of any color also. This screams Commander. This is going to be the new Commander rock that everybody wants. Yes, it was 1 extra mana, but for what it does, I think it's worth it, and I think everybody's going to play it. Also, this could be great for limited, for mana fixing, and it may see play in Standard, depending on how the deck formats roll out. Next, we have the Prayer of Binding, so white and 3 for a flash enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you exile a target non-land permanent an opponent controls until this leaves the battlefield, and you gain 2 life. White got a lot of enchantments like this that have this style of effect. Depending on the format, white's going to have a removal option, and we're going to have to wait and find out which one's going to be best, depending on how the format goes. Next, we have the Shadowrite Priest, a black and 1 for a 2/2. Other clerics you control get +1/+1. It's a cleric lord. Oh, where have you been all my life? Said no one ever. But it also has 2 black and 3. Tap, sacrifice another cleric. Search your library for a black creature card. Put it directly onto the battlefield and shuffle. This thing is disgusting. It's not only going to see play in Standard and Limited. This is going to see play probably every format because it casts for 2. Yes, it activates for 5. But in Commander, you got rocks. In other decks, you have, or other formats, you have lands to get to 5. Maybe not Modern, but we'll work on that. But point being, in Standard, Commander, or whatever, you can sacrifice your clerics and go get the biggest, ugliest black creatures you've ever seen. Put them straight onto the battlefield, and yeah, it's just going to be ugly. So, welcome to Hair Club for Men, or women, or I don't know what these people are. Anyway, moving on. Next, we have Airtie's back, the Resurrected, a black, blue, and 2 for a 3/2 legendary creature, forexian human, wizard. Let's put some more stuff on that text line. It has flash. When he enters the battlefield, you can counter a target spell, activate ability, or triggered ability. Its controller draws a card. Destroy another target creature or planeswalker. Its controller draws a card. This is going to see buttloads of play. Yeah, they get to draw cards, but I'd rather kill whatever it is they got and let them draw a card, especially in standard and limited. This could be a great card for commander. Other formats it won't be usable only because it's 4 mana, I think, and that's going to be its biggest downfall. But it's going to be pretty sweet in the current format of standard. All right, moving on. Next we've got Airtie Scorn, 2 blue and 1. This spell costs 1 blue less to cast. If your opponent casts 2 or more spells this turn, counter target spell. Pretty interesting take on counterspell that can get real cheap real fast. May even become a sideboard for Storm decks, but to be honest, they have Fluster Storm, and that's probably just good enough. So moving on. Next we have Urza Assembles the Titans. So 2 white and 3 with read ahead. So for 1, you get Scry 4. Sweet God. Then you may reveal a top card of your library. If it's a Planeswalker card, is revealed this way, put it into your hand. Woo! You may put a Planeswalker card mana value 6 or less from your hand onto the battlefield for 2. Oh my God. And for 3, you may activate the loyalty abilities of Planeswalkers you control twice this turn rather than only once. Sweet Jesus. This isn't legendary either. This is going to be a thing in several ways. Standard, limited, commander, heck, maybe even Pioneer, Brawl, or what have you. But this seems really good. Obviously, this is going to be a Commander All-Star. I can tell you that right now. But it may make some serious shakeups inside the standard environment. All right, so next we have, that's right, Impulse was reprinted. A blue and 1. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 1 in your hand, the rest on the bottom in the random order. Where is Brainstorm when you need it? Oh, this could be ugly quick. And a matter of fact, I think Brainstorm might technically, is it still legal in Pioneer? Because if it is, that's going to be ugly. All right, moving on. Oh, hey, look at that. I was a little too impulsive. We're actually done. Giggity. Anyway, bad joke, sorry.